Hey everyone, welcome back. Yesterday I got some work done on my sleeve, so I just wanted to do something a little more laid back today. So we're going to be reviewing some pandemic tattoos. If you watched my video reacting to the dumbest tattoos on TikTok, you might remember this accidental anti-masker tattoo. Those were definitely really funny, but today we're going to be looking at actual pandemic tattoos that were planned and gotten to commemorate the events of the last year or so. So let's get into looking at these pandemic tattoos. When the pandemic began, many tattoo shops had to close their doors, and without an end in sight, this was a pretty rough time for the tattooing industry. However, in the last few months, with some COVID restrictions being lifted, tattooing has seen a huge surge across the United States. According to the Washington Post, bookings and revenue are surging as Americans look for expressive and therapeutic outlets in a year marked by isolation and loss. The New York Times interviewed John Boy, a celebrity tattoo artist in New York City who is really well known for these small, fine line tattoos. John Boy said he's seen a surge in requests for COVID-related designs recently, and he went on to say, quote, "People are getting words that have spoken to them, stuff like surrender and strength. One of my clients, his father passed from COVID, and he ended up getting a rose for him." So it does seem like there's a trend to get more tattoos now that the pandemic is coming to somewhat of an end, as well as people getting COVID-related tattoos. And it turns out that the pandemic is also encouraging individuals who have no tattoos to go out and get their first ones. Dr. Shaiana Ali, an Orlando-based mental health counselor and author of the Self-Love Workbook, is quoted to say, "I've had a lot of people talk about having their light bulb moment in the pandemic and realizing a lot about themselves, their loved ones, or their careers. That specific moment happens because of the influence of the pandemic." I don't think that this will come as a surprise to many of you watching this video right now. At least for me personally, I definitely felt a huge need to get all the tattoos I had in my mind when I was stuck at home for months on end during quarantine. Since the pandemic has put many of us in a situation where we feel powerless and isolated, tattooing is such a great way to feel connected to something and feel like you have power over your body and your life in a way. And there are a lot of people that have felt that way, but also wanted to get COVID-19 symbols on their body as well. So that's what we're going to be jumping into right now, looking at these tattoos. The first tattoo we'll be looking at is done by tattoo artist Marco_Knox Inc., who seems to tattoo in Italy. This is an amazingly done tattoo. It's kind of subtle. Actually, it's not subtle at all. You have the mask, the hand sanitizer, a glove, and then 2020 on it. So it's actually very explicitly COVID pandemic related, but the tattoo is done so well. I really like the graphic style of this tattoo as well as the purple background. I'm definitely a fan of this one. Next, we have some text on someone's upper thigh area by maclean.ttt on Instagram. The text says, "I survived a global pandemic and all I got was this stupid tattoo," but it says TTTOO, which is pretty funny. It's definitely an ironic tattoo, but this one's pretty funny, especially the misspelling of the word tattoo. I kind of like that the text is a little bit jumbled up. It's like purposefully bad, you know? After a year like we've had, I feel like that this tattoo is super fitting for everything that we all went through. When I searched for pandemic tattoos, I definitely got a lot of like plague doctor tattoos, and this one is specifically COVID-19 plague doctor-esque. There's a roll of toilet paper, and that is what is used as the little banner at the bottom, which is really creative. And it says COVID-19 2020. This one's definitely subtle and more of like a gothic style. You also see the mask in the plague doctor's, I want to say mouth, but I know that that's not a mouth. What's crazy is this is also an apprentice tattoo. So this is by Justin KL Art on Instagram. Definitely a lot of potential there with that artist. Really cool. So this next tattoo is a little bit more playful, and it's by Janet Chunky on Instagram. It is Sailor Mars with a mask on, and the text below says social distancing. I like this one in that it is subtle and you wouldn't necessarily know that this is a COVID-19 tattoo, but it's really cute, definitely playful and fun. I really love the white highlights on the tattoo. I think it looks really nice. It's super clean. Big fan of this one. Next, we have this toilet paper tattoo that says coronavirus on it, I believe. And this is done by Anthony G Tattoos on Instagram. Very overt, not hiding anything about this one at all. You do see a lot of toilet paper symbolism in a lot of these tattoos, which is pretty funny. I guess one of the hallmark things about the events of 2020 was the toilet paper shortage. Even though the past events of the COVID-19 outbreak have been incredibly hard for everyone, some people do try to find light in that situation. And I think that's why you do see so many of these playful COVID tattoos. I don't think that they are meant to be disrespectful in any way. These people, this is just how they relate to something so tragic. I really like this next one. This is a plague doctor, and it's done by @Jacqueline.Stormhouse Tattoo on Instagram. And it's a really illustrative design, super, super well done. It's really subtle, and when you zoom in, you can see that the plague doctor has their middle finger up and it spells out the word COVID on it. So I really like that subtle design element there that you wouldn't necessarily notice until it was pointed out to you. This next tattoo we have is a couple kissing with two masks on, and it's done by Marco_LUC_tattoo on Instagram. I really like this one. I love the old school style of it. This couple kissing in a heart with the flowers is definitely a very traditional symbol. I love that the spin that this artist took on it. It's really well done. It looks really good. I really like this one. It's really cool. Next, we have something similar to that last one. This was done by Martin_B_TTT. And this is a little bit more illustrative, a little bit more fine line and delicate. Similar concept to the last one, and this is two individuals with gas masks kissing. And it really does look like an old-timey portrait, which is pretty interesting. The tattoo is really well done. I don't know why I like this idea of people kissing with like masks on, but the symbol is really interesting to me. So yeah, I think this is cool. I can't read the caption because it's in Italian, but if anyone knows what that says, let me know. Next, we have another plague doctor. Like I said, this is kind of like a reoccurring symbol similar to the toilet paper. This one's really well done. I love the traditional style. Honestly, I'm obsessed with this rose and the leaves and the white highlights on the rose. This one's just incredibly well done. It's done by Amanda Brooks Tattoo. And the text on the bottom says, "Wash your damn hands." So again, very overt COVID tattoo, but I really like this one. Really well done. Next, we have this tattoo of a healthcare worker who is kind of suited up like Superman. And I really like the minimal color in this one. It does really well to illustrate exactly what it is. So it's a healthcare worker and they're putting on their mask, and you can see that there's like a superhero t-shirt on under, I assume to be like a lab coat. So this is obviously commemorating the incredible achievements and work done by healthcare workers during the pandemic, which I think is something really great to get symbolized on your body. Maybe you know someone who's a healthcare worker, maybe you are a healthcare worker and you worked through this period of time. We all owe a huge thanks to the healthcare workers across the world, really, because they have put their lives on the line every single day. So I'm a big fan of this tattoo. Lastly, we have almost a whole leg done to commemorate COVID-19. This one similarly seems like it is in honor of some healthcare workers as well as scientists and people kind of on the front lines of COVID. So it's really nice to see that people are commemorating this time and the people that really worked hard to get us where we are today. I did just want to wrap up looking at these pandemic tattoos by talking about this caption. It says, "We are in this together and we will get through this together." I think that that is a really nice message to just remind yourself every once in a while. Everyone in the world has been through such incredible hardships, no matter where they are, due to the coronavirus outbreak. And to just remember that we are truly in this together, and the only way forward is to be considerate of others. So many people have worked towards getting us to this place, worked incredibly hard. So just being grateful for that and reminding ourselves that we are all in this together, I think is really important. But that's all I have for you guys today. Definitely let me know what you think about these pandemic tattoos down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. But if you have made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you have, leave me this emoji in the comments so that I know that you are a real one. Bye guys.